Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is Saturday, so of course, happy Saturday. Let's talk about another speed duel deck profile for you guys. Let's talk about Dark Paladin. So, first and foremost, to get this deck, you basically need to. I think most everything here was actually out of structure boxes. So, for the most part, if you guys have been keeping up since the original Battle City box, you guys should be pretty fine. The way that this guy's going to work is he is a fusion of the D-Mage and the Buster Blader. Must be fusion summoned. However, you can use substitutions if you like. When a spell card is activated, as a quick effect, you can discard one card to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. However, this is not a once per turn effect. Keep that in mind. Second, this card must be face up on the field to activate and resolve that effect, which is fine. Additionally, gains 500 attack for every dragon monster on the field and in the graveyards. So today's deck is based around making this guy and making this guy fast and making this guy stick. So that in mind, this is kind of a glass cannon. And what I mean by that is builds where I do something like this, they are sometimes not the best. It will play the card. It will play the card more often than not. But what happens after you play the card depends on your opponent and the setting in which you're playing. So that said, the rest of the extra deck is going to be a Blue Eyes, Cyberblader, and Dragoon, and King, because we're going to be playing the same side, the same side as we did last time. If you guys watched the video with the dinosaurs, we will be using the one Dahlgren because we want a Kaiju. We will be running double Lost Wind for going into games 2 and 3 for a little more control. Same thing with the single Mind Crush and the double Waking the Dragons. The double Waking the Dragons can summon anybody out of our extra deck except the Dark Paladin this time. Dark Paladin has to be played properly or as close to properly as possible. So with that in mind, let's go over the skill card. The skill card is one that starts the duel flipped over, and it will be the Dragon Hunting Swordsman. So the way this one works, once per duel, you may discard a card, then fusion summon a monster mentioning Buster Blader by using monsters from the hand and or field as material, while the only monster you control is a Buster Blader or a fusion monster that mentions it. Monsters in your opponent's graveyard become dragons. So this is very important to note. What this is essentially like playing Heroes Unite Fusion, except instead of playing the heroes, we're trying to play the Dark Paladin. And additionally, we're going to be able to turn every card in our opponent's graveyard into a dragon. So just real quick, go ahead, take the notes, pause, screen cap, screenshot, whatever you guys need. This is the skill, the side in the extra deck. I'm going to be right back with the main deck, and we're going to kind of take it a little bit slow through that. So just one moment. All right. I'm not too sure why we're out of focus already, but let's get it, right? So starting with the main deck monsters, we will play one monster that I do hope to summon a bunch of, and this is going to be Breaker. We need Breaker for a couple of reasons. We need Breaker for his ability to gain counters and destroy back row, as well as actually being probably the only monster that stands a chance of making it to the field without being fusion material. So again, starts at 19, drops to 16. Those are not bad stats, but it is all support to get to the Paladin. To play the Paladin, we wanted to max out the appropriate materials here. So we went with 3 D-Mages and 3 Buster Bladers. Again, for the most part, you're not playing these. I mean, you might game 2 and 3. You might go, oh, you know what would be really cool is if I went into, another monster card during the course of Waking the Dragon. But I need you guys to be aware of how the skill works again. Because you might immediately go, well, I could double up on Paladin Buster Blader, right? No. So I'll reread it. While the only monster you control is. So again, for the most part, like Breaker's almost not even necessary. I just don't want to be caught without a monster. That said, it's going to be easy to run him into something or to get him off the field some other way. That in and of itself should not be a problem. Our opponents are going to be more than happy to do it for us. But as long as we have another monster on the field, we're not actually getting the actual secondary effect of the skill card. So I just need you guys to know that before you play it, and then your opponent goes, you can't do that, and then you feel silly on the play table because we missed that sentence. I don't want that to happen to you guys. So keep that in mind. If you can immediately go into this and there is no reason to play him, just don't. Okay? Simple as that. What else could you do? We could put in extra stuff for blocks. And I'll explain that towards the end of this. Like I said, I want to take this a little bit slower so we get it. Next up, we're going to be playing some Searchers. We're going to be playing 3 copies of Emblem Destroyer. Emblem of Dragon Destroyer. And what it does is it just says add Buster Blader from deck to hand. Same thing. We're going to be playing 3 copies Summoner's Art because this gets us our Dark Magician. Why? Because it says add a level 5 or higher normal from deck to hand. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So either you draw one of 6 Buster Bladers or one of 6 Dark Magicians, and then you have another card in your hand to discard to immediately activate your skill card, or you figure out another method that you have to do. Another thing that we kept in here, we kept in 2 copies of the Nightbeam spell card, because again, Dark Paladin can stop any spell card. If you reread the effect, you can discard a card from your hand, and you do it multiple times in a turn to negate spell cards. You can't do anything against traps, so you do have to be worried about traps a little bit. So Nightbeam can't even respond with it. Super good here. Again, Breaker sort of clearing the way. Maybe he triggers the trap and gets himself off the board, and then you go into your fusion and you're like, oh, it's okay. That's what I wanted. That's really what I wanted. So you could do that. And then last but not least, the initial build for this included 3 copies Windstorm of Itaqua. So this is the 3 turns of, oops, I didn't draw. You know, it's like, oops, all Dark Magician cards. Or oops, all Buster Blader cards. Because it happens. This is a glass cannon. There are other ways that you guys can go about doing this. So let's say that you guys want to take out the breakers entirely. You could throw in like 2 negate attacks. And another Nightbeam. You guys could go with 2 Books of Moon and another Nightbeam. You guys could make it a Cosmic Cyclone. Doesn't matter. What I'm saying is you need some stuff to take care of the back row. Breaker was sort of thematic and also sort of a knee-jerk response, just because he would stay on the field. Chiron was another one I had toyed around with, playing with, because we have so many spells, we'll have extras. But it was like, do I want to destroy stuff or do I want to negate spells? The majority of players are playing spells, not traps. So it just came down to the initial build was with Breaker, something I would consider to playtest in the very near future. And this isn't something I'm just going to give up on because I'm going to go, oh, well, I made the video, like, oh, I'm done with this deck. No, this one's intriguing, and I want to polish this one. And so I wanted to make sure that I got this done for this weekend, because this was something that was sort of hinted at. Somebody wanted to see this, and I was like, yeah. But leading up through this was the one that played the best so far of our builds. If I have another build in the near future that does as well or better, trust that I will bring that to the table as well for you. But again, it really does come down to maybe using, instead of the breakers, using Books of Moon. Because again, as long as they only have the 1 monster, that's a turn that you've bought yourself. Again, it has other effects later on that helps the paladin survive. Could be more useful than just having the breakers. So maybe you go with the double Book of Moon and a single Cosmic Cyclone, increase your back row awareness, and having one as a quick play is always a good idea. By that point, you may decide that 2 Windstorms works as well as 3, and you might go and put in another card there as well. And so I encourage you guys to all take this one out and start playtesting this one. It is fun, and we got some ridiculous numbers out of the Dark Paladin during playtest. We got him up to like 5,000 and some junk. It was like 54 or something. and it was just kind of fun. Um, but again, it just comes down to how much playtesting you guys are willing to do. Um, and that's about it. I mean, we'd even playtested Dark Magic Curtains instead of the Summoners. And Dark Magic Curtains should still be here in this. Let's take us a peek. The reason we didn't go with this is because it actually kills your summonings for the rest of the turn. Um, and that would mean including the special summon. So even though you could board a D-Mage, it just didn't feel right. Plus, it was like a half life points pay, and that cost is just too steep for this build. So guys, I hope that you guys enjoy this. Again, this isn't something we're just shelving just because we've made the video. This is something I plan on working on and refining down the road because this is a cool card. I love this skill card, and anytime you have a pseudo fusion skill card, I think the game's better for it. So that said, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. Do the things, don't do the things. That's on you. That's your choice, and you are encouraged to make that. What I will say is, please try go out there, have a great day. It is the start of the weekend. It is Saturday. I do have a Speed Duel Spotlight for tomorrow. I got you guys a Woodman deck profile for Mega Man TCG coming this Monday. So this is going to be pretty fun. So guys, just go out there, do the things, enjoy yourselves, take care. See if we can get that to go back into focus. And guys, seriously, I hope to see you guys next time. Later.